You know, I officially say that this season of Goblin Slayer is definitely better than the first season. First season was way too direct. Even when he did go to different places, it mainly focused on one thing. And it did was the purpose of opening up the Goblin Slayer, making him become more of a human and just a tool of extermination of a certain species. This season 2 does it better. With not just Goblin Slayer, but also the other characters around him. Even his guild members of some opening up and development, especially the little priest girl. It's all around for a good development, and I do enjoy that. After the wedding ceremony, they tend to pick up requests of harassments coming from sea goblins, and a little bit of racial ignorance comes into play. These are actually like guild people, guild folks, you could call them, in a way, who came from their octopus god. But because they're green, people automatically assume that they were goblins. And because of that, it was very kind of racial. Even when Goblin Slayer looking at us, are you guys goblins? And like, no, man, we're not goblins. Don't insult us and stuff. We live by our kind. We're intellectual. We're intellect, and we also create our own stuff. We create our own food. We don't ravage like raiders. And seeing this and how Goblin Slayer took it, he made firm when he went to the guild that these are not goblins. They're not sea goblins. Don't call them goblins. That is messed up. So I like how Goblin Slayer stood up for the guild folk there. It was really nice to see because, to get some justice and some things straightened out, some facts, get it straight. We're guild folks, not goblins. You know, big, big difference. And his request ended up finding a sea serpent, which is more to a fish than a snake. And by seeing this, they took it down pretty easy. It was, yes, it's a big creature. You may think, oh, it's just compared to on like an RPG game you're playing. But in the day, you just take care of this fish and that's it. It's gone. There's no more worry about it. These things are usually out in deep sea, mind their own business, eating hordes of fish or something bigger and stuff. That's all they do. So when you take care of this thing, you probably won't face another one for it for a very long time or never at all compared to a goblin. That's why when after they defeat the sea serpent, Goblin Slayer said that he wished that goblins were easy to take down. And of course, we think in video games they're easy to take down, but in real life, if you live in this world, they're not. Always have to be on your toes. They're crafty, they're adaptive, and they're willing to do any underhand tricks and tactics to take you down. And God knows what they'll do to you when you're alive. So that's why he said that. Like, yeah, this is a lot easier than goblins. Sure, you might have to have a few hustles here and there when you find a sea serpent, but when it's done, it's done. It has a weakness and you take it down. You can slice the goblin, but you come back with armor, come back with using arrows, tools, spells, get stronger, bigger, faster, using other creatures as a method to take over villages. That's why goblins are still harder than fighting off a sea serpent. So he's seeing the venturing. Venturing doesn't seem that bad. Even splitting up the spoils seemed fun. And he even had a cute little seashell for farm girl and stuff. And that's when we got, you know, this chick, I kept calling her High Priest the entire time, but she has other names. She's Archbishop, and she's also a formerly Sword Saint. But the entire time, he calling her High Priest, and some say, well, that's the same thing. No, it's not. High Priest and Archbishop are two different things. They are ranks, by the way. It's like calling a yellow belt and a black belt the same. They're not the same. But anyways, that being said, she has a request. There's goblins, and they need to go to the capital. Lots of them. And she needs the Goblin Slayer to do what he does best. Slay the goblins. Because he was disappointed on the last thing. There are no goblins there. So for that, he was like, I don't really that hype for it. I am my rage beyond. So which was good. So now he gets to slay some goblins. On the way, he has to go say goodbye to the farm girl. And the funny thing is that how the archbishop and the priest girl seem kind of jelly of the farm girl. How he has the attention of the goblin slayer. First of all, you're a priest. I don't think priests are supposed to get with people. They can't be with people. So if you're going to continue to have that Earth Mother power, you gotta stay away from Goblin Slayer like that. And then you're the Archbishop, for crying out loud. You definitely can't be with anybody. So Stay where you are. Everyone wants to be with the Goblin Slayer. I can't technically be with the Goblin Slayer, except for Guild Girl, but that's it. But Guild Girl is probably just more fascinating with his chivalry than anything else. So they take a nice little stroll. Things are going nice until they get attacked by goblins. Since of course goblins are out. Goblins are the everyday creatures that people like to look down on because they're just goblins. But goblins can really overwhelming numbers. I like how even though this is an anime, they treat it more like reality than an anime. You can't do anything and everything, no matter how cool you look. You will be taken down by these creatures if you let up. So them forming strategies to smash them from the outside to get them all together was pretty brilliant. But then finding out that these things, there's more of them, and probably a lot more, and even he skinned the back of one of them. They had a mark on them that could have been a hand or a claw. It must mean something. Or it is going to continue on by going into the capital. And this is where I was fascinated once again with economics and politics. And when they're entering the capital, and he was saying, "Hey, where's the king is at, and why is everyone rushing in?" It's because the king is not there, and the king's on his daily patrol for tax collection. Oh, tax collection, taxes. The excuse to take money from everyday hardworking citizens since God knows when, since the early 1900s, and even before then, taxes, man. Taxes. I swear to God, taxes is something that people just don't want to hear. Taxes don't care. So they say the reason for taxes is to pay for the city, pay for the streets, pay for the things around you, and that's partially true. But then again, look around, you're like, I'm not seeing it. And then you see that the taxes are going inside their pockets or going to other countries and doing other things that you probably don't like or even agree with or even voted for, which really, really, really sucks. I don't know why. When I saw the Goblins there talking about taxes and how it works, how they'll go to places that aren't governed and they might be a threat for an uprising, or maybe they just want to be left by themselves, but they'll label it, nope, you might be an uprising if you want to be by yourself. Therefore, it takes some money from you. I see taxes like this. You live here, you still have to pay some sort of thing. So therefore, you have to give taxes for whatever you own or do or you work for. The government have to get their pie out of it. For a working place to be in here, for you to work here, you must pay your toll to work here. But even though you're already paying the rent and you're already paying the mortgage and the land and all this other crap, but you're still getting taxed. You're still getting freaking taxed, no matter what. So even when you do your income taxes to tell how much you made, they're still going to not give you much as you deserve to be given back. I swear to God, taxes, man. I think people would be more okay with taxes if they felt confident in taxes. If taxes went to things that we knew and were okay with, I think people will be okay with them. Even if they went up, people will be like, well, if this was going to this and it's doing this, exactly this, we will be more confident in them taking our money, so going into their pockets, spending on whatever, living a good life, and they're not really doing their job to please the people. I think that's the reason why people don't like taxes so much, because it feels like we're giving our money to people who aren't doing things that we want them to do or need them to really do with it. And because of that, the morality around it is just so down, especially when you yourself are struggling and you see this person that's in power, you put them in power. They're supposed to work for you, but instead they're spending on things you don't want them to spend it on, or they don't need to spend it on. They're looking good, they're looking great and stuff, and you're like, what the hell? I know taxes don't always go to the Congress. There are people you put in power all the time. They don't, but they'll find ways around it by doing it as alone. We'll pay taxes here, and then they'll pay us to put those taxes there, and that's why. And it really, really, really sucks. But anyways, I think I'm going on too long, but after the episode ended, that they're entering the capital and they're questioning Goblin Slayer's rank. You gotta check by, because they have borders. you know how it is. Like, this part scene was very economical and political in a way. You know, they have boards, they're checking for papers, they're checking for your purpose. You know, like an empire should, like a country should. You shouldn't just let anybody with inside your walls, because trouble could harm you. You know, I'm not saying everyone's bad, but it's bad to check to see who's going there, so you know who's there. So if something's happening, you have some documentation to know what's going on and who that person is. Instead of them just squirming around doing whatever. I'm not saying that's everybody, but it happens a lot, and for impure intentions. But anyways, it's just watching. It's like they had borders. We have borders. People should have borders. That's all I'm saying. I know. I'm sorry. I got a little political towards the end, but you know when I see these things, I'm like, makes you think. But anyway, that's all I got for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrown, all anime, signing out.